2023 was a tale of two halves in Marvel Strike Force. Before the player's voice and after, and in this video, we're going to take the trip down memory lane, giving you the best and worst of the year in Marvel Strike Force for 2023. And if you're ready for all of that, then you know what to do, Valley Club. Find that like button and let's go smash it. And welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin and I hope you're having a great holiday season. And if you celebrated Christmas, I hope you had a great Christmas. But welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to take a look at all of 2023 and the best and worst in Marvel Strike Force. But before we get to that, if this is your first time here on the channel, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content, at least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week in a normal non-holiday week. We have question and answer videos, news videos, review videos, gameplay videos, everything to help your experience in Marvel Strike Force. But without further ado, let's go right into 2023, the year in review. And the first major event of 2023 was the Red Hulk Saga. It had its premiere on January 17th, 2023. I could have sworn from memory that this was back in November or December of 2022. Well, I'm glad I looked this up because Red Hulk actually was released on January 17th. Moving to the next major thing that happened, and I guess this happened before the Red Hulk Saga, because on January 5th, this is when we had a bunch of Sweater Weaver shards erroneously going into the economy. Over 4,000 shards for people that were able to reach that last level of that strike pass. As you know, there's 3 levels of the strike pass, depending on what level you are. And if you were at that highest level at the time in the beginning of January, well, you would have gotten 4,000 Weaver shards. Unfortunately, not everyone got that. So everybody that started since then was not able to get that. And if you're a newer player at the time, you would have only gotten 100 Weaver shards. So hopefully this is something that they do make right. But the good thing is Weaver not being held off is a farmable character now. So that was another major thing. Points limits were something else that happened. This was first announced on January 20th. Now, this initially was not used right. We would have these point limits and these events still sucked, but these very, very complicated events. And I think initially this just made it worse and worse and worse and more complicated. Now I think they have enough of a track history that they're using it correctly more often than not. There's still some weird events now, but this is when it actually started. And the next thing that happened is level 95. We knew level 95 was coming. We knew level 100 is coming sometime in this update or the next update, because we know that Dark Dimension 7 with Mephisto as a reward is coming as well. But when it was actually announced was on January 30th of 2023. So maybe that's when they're going to announce level 100 level cap. Maybe it's going to be sometime in this update as well. But we also get the final requirements for the big grand prize of all of 2022, and that is Apocalypse. It didn't arrive till 2023, but yeah, level 95 was there, and Apocalypse was announced on the same day. February 1st was when we got the next update. Update 6.7 went live on February 1st. This was the actual update that we got the Apocalypse Saga. We had the Death Saga, so Archangel was actually released in this event. And again, I could have sworn that Archangel and the full Death Seed team was released in 2022, but yeah, Death was not even a thing until later in February 2023. But we also got in this update, we got the Masters of Evil, Absorbing Man, Kang the Conqueror, Moonstone. We got a few new events as well, and then we got a 5-year anniversary event, which wasn't as good as some of the events in the past. Wasn't as bad as some of the events in the past as well. This is actually a pretty decent one. And in this update, we got some more updates to save squads. This is where we could organize them quickly. We had a few more tabs. Cosmic Crucible rewards were updated here, and this is where they started talking about Quicksilver as a main reward for Cosmic Crucible. We did get that level 95 cap, and MSF.GG went away and it was relaunched as MarvelStrikeForce.com. Everything is on the website now. MarvelStrikeForce.com didn't have a lot of information. It was all on MSF.GG. It got combined at this point and everything was all under one roof, and it kind of works that way now. MSF.GG, I think if you still use that, it still redirects to MarvelStrikeForce.com. But later in the month is when we got the Death Saga. February 27th was when we got the first run of Archangel, and kind of like Red Hulk, I thought this was this came a lot sooner. I thought this was in like January of 2023, but this was the end of February, so pretty much the beginning of March was when we first got Archangel the game, which means that the Dead Seed team did not last for a full year in the meta. Hopefully moving forward, what they described when Diamonds were released, that teams would last for a year. That seed almost lasted for a year, but hopefully moving forward with all these teams that are coming, they make them last for a full year because we did get that commitment to Diamonds. But yes, February 27th was when we first got Archangel into the game, and not long after that was when we got Apocalypse in the game. We had the announcement March 10th is when we first had the chance to unlock a baby and a big boy Apocalypse if you met the requirements. Here they're talking about some of the requirements as well, the hard difficulty, the heroic difficulty, and the Apocalypse difficulty for that big boy Apocalypse. All your horsemen and original characters at gear tier 17, T2 level 5, ISO 8, which is the major bottleneck right now. And I think the devs are still working on how to undo this for newer players, how to make this a little less painful for newer players to have to go through. One of the big things is to make these horseman events permanent, which they described in July. We still don't have permanent horseman events, so hopefully that is coming sometime very soon in 2024. But yeah, this is something that they need to fix. But this is when we first got it. Apocalypse, March 4th, we got the announcement that March 10th was the first date for the Apocalypse Saga. Soon after that, March 15th, is when we got a new update, version 7.0. So in the current version right now, got a few new characters. This is when we got our invader team. We got Iron Fist, World War II, a few of the other characters. We got the first semblance of some of our new rewards, and Quicksilver was finally added to the Cosmic Crucible rewards in this update. Other things that happened in this update, well, we got a few new events, that 5th year anniversary event, Gambit raids returned, Cosmic Crucible got updated. Like I said, they got some new rewards with Quicksilver included in that, but we also got some new rules. We also got some challenges that we were supposed to be getting, and we're still waiting on some new Origin challenges which were described all the way back towards the beginning of the year. We still don't have it in a game yet, but hopefully this update is when we're finally gonna get it in update 7.6. Claim all for the milestones. That is a great improvement. There's improvements to the login streak and some things that happen with the graphics as well. So this was an okay update. Nothing really stands out too hard about this update except for the major release of Quicksilver, which is still a very important character in the meta of Marvel Strike Force right now. We finally got the preview of 2023 coming on April 3rd. Describe a lot of good things that happen in this. We got the next legendary announced and the new team, the Nowhere team. Nova was a character there, and that is the first legendary character that we got in 2023. Scourges were coming back, and this was what made a lot of the community happy at this point. We had the announcement of Dark Dimension 6 and super-skrull. This is the first time we heard about super-skrull as the official character and the rewards for that. We got the requirements for Dark Dimension 6. We did get some of this a lot earlier this year. Actually, in the second half of 2023 is when we got the word of Dark Dimension 7 and a bunch of different things. Along with level 95, we got another gear tier increase for Dark Dimension 6. Now, they did give us that level cap increase to start to, I guess, so we could use our gold, upgrade some of our characters for the PvE content, and this is when we finally got the gear tier 18 in this update. The incursion raids, the new version of the raids, were finally launched as well. This gave us more rewards, more difficult content for the raids, and new Alliance Wars. They were changing these Alliance War rules. They got a little stale, and I like that they're changing these rules. Cosmic Crucible Tournament, we got announcement of the Ultimate 32 coming up, which has been very well received by the community. I think it was a combination of some new rules, the Cosmic Crucible that lasted longer, and just out with the old season and in with some of the new rules that were getting kind of stale. And what was the fear at this time with a lot of the rules is that they're going to move some of the rooms down. The rooms from room 5 and 6 were moved down to 4 and 3, and they would continue to do that for the subsequent seasons. Glad that is not what they ended up doing, but we got a bunch of different quality of life features that were teased. I think most of them, if not all of them, are in the game right now. So this one went really well, but we got a bombshell that dropped later in that month. On April 12th was when we got word that Tadano Mac was quitting Marvel Strike Force. And I think this is a major event in the game because the devs finally saw that whatever they threw at the players, well, even the top player at the time still wasn't happy with the game. I talked about the sale of Boundless to Savvy and some of the backlash from just the Apocalypse Saga just being not fun. So this is the actual letter that he read. It was translated with some light errors. You guys could go back and read this here, but let's move on. May 10th was when we finally got version 7.1. And in this is where we got the Nowhere team. We got Gwenpool arriving to complete that new Warriors team, and very, very good for Cosmic Crucible. We got some new rules for Cosmic Crucible. Finally, we got the Ultimate 32, which was very, very well received. Season 2, I think, was very draining on the players and just was not fun. We also got word that new Teal Origin challenges are coming, and they're still not in the game yet. We're on update 7.6. They were described as coming in this update, and we finally got data mines that some of the gold and training match challenges will get updated, but hopefully that means that these new Teal Origin challenges are also coming as well. We got some new ISO 8 hard campaigns that were updated, and then we got the dreaded updates to the inbox where people were claiming all. This is a big thing that people were doing in 2022, hoarding a lot of things, and with this auto claim, it started a lot of it wasn't fun initially for a lot of players because we were used to hoarding, timing the rewards, and when this was announced, I don't think this was good. I think we've gotten used to it at this point. This was not very well received when it was initially announced. And we got new portraits in the game, which makes way for more frames that are still one of the big rewards in a lot of the things going on right now. Update 7.1 also brought our first new legendary non-horseman character that we've had in a while, and that was with the release of Nova. It started on May 18th for the first run of the legendary event, and this was very, very bugged. Very easy in the beginning with some of these bio scourges not working properly. Well, they just removed these and the points were not adjusted, which is why we're still dealing with the backlash over these Nova trials still. If you're trying to do the awakened orbs and get your maximum difficulty for that, well, they've adjusted the points that to max it out, you need 1.7 million. It was 1.9, but a lot of this was because these broken scourges were never, ever fixed and never, ever put back. So I'm glad they at least adjusted the point totals, but this is when we got the Nova Scourge. It was a pretty fun event when it was working properly. Could use the Massive Evil pretty much based on Kang, and then Quicksilver was what you needed to get through it. But after Tadano Matt quit, there was still a lot of backlash from the community. The game was not in a great place, and a lot of these big changes came with the introduction of the player's voice movement. Now, they've been forming a lot and organizing a lot. The day that they sent the letter to the devs was on 6/9, so June 9th, so the day before this video was recorded, and it was a 45-page document that was sent to the devs. This is a copy of it here, but this was done all throughout May. There was a lot of people involved in this, and I think this, along with Tadano Matt quitting, were two of the big catalysts of change for the better in the game. The devs started listening. They took a brand new approach. They didn't think they were the smartest people in the room anymore and just putting whatever content out. They actually started listening to the players, and this is when I think the game started improving a lot. Obviously, there was a lot still in the pipeline, and I think they have a lot planned in that 6 month to a year time frame, but we started seeing an effort. Things got different. Like I said, this was a major catalyst, in my opinion, for a lot of great changes in the game. This again was delivered on June 9th to the devs, and we got a lot of great feedback from that. A lot of great changes. A lot of things were changed before they went live into the game in the state that they were originally intended. And I think a lot of things that were subsequently released, like diamonds, like the sword satellite, a lot of the other towers, I think things could have been a lot worse if this did not go down like this. So it was a net positive of Tadano Mac leaving. The game is in a much better place since that happened. But we also got in June, we also got version 7.2. And in this update, well, this is where Dark Dimension 6 was actually released. We got super-skrull, we got the Bifrost team, Val, Sylvie, Beta Ray Build, Teen Loki, and we got the Infestation, big time Spider-Man, still feeling the effects of that team. But as far as the events, well, we got some pretty good events during that time. Dark Dimension 6 was launched, like I said. Nexus, we got some new Nexus campaigns as well. Chapters 1 and 2 were launched. And this is where they're giving a lot more farmability and a lot more access to some of these higher levels of gear. So this was a big change that happened there. New Origin challenges, still don't have them in the game, but they were described in the update notes for 7.1 and 7.2. Cosmic Crucible got some updates as well. Raid keys, we also got them auto launching of the raids, so this is really good. Multiple gears, I can't remember that we didn't have this, but this was also launched in that update as well. Rewards management, there's a lot of quality of life changes that were made in this year, and a lot of good stuff. Sync on your alliance, syncing the claim milestones, MarvelStrikeForce.com. They started syncing with the web a little bit more. A lot of these events are tied to the web and the store, and a lot of that happened in update 7.2. Moving on, we also got Dark Dimension 6. Well, this was launched on 6/27, so June 27th. Couple days later, we got the announcement that Beta Ray Bill was the first player to beat Dark Dimension 6, and I think he actually beat this the same day. So this was launched on the 27th, beat on the 27th, but we didn't get the announcement about this officially until the 29th. So very, very good. July was a pretty quiet month in the game. Skipping ahead to August, a relatively quiet month. I mean, we had the normal bugs, we have the normal events in the game, but nothing that we're still feeling the effects of today. So from that standpoint, it was a relatively quiet month. The update 7.3 was released on August 2nd, so beginning of August. And in that update, this is when we got the legendary team that is still involved in the meta right now, the Secret Defenders. Black Cat Legendary was during this update. This is when we got Ghost Rider Robbie Reyes, Miss Marvel, Hardlight, two of the best characters in the game right now. There are a slight rework to Doctor Strange. What they said about character reworks, they're more likely to go crazy on characters that are more in the PvE content, so raid characters, but characters that are going to be in PvP content like Doctor Strange or character used in war, they're more likely to get a lighter rework, which is why Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, some of these other characters, reworks were pretty light. We also got the new Avengers, a new Alliance War Defense team, which is originally what they were built. They got reworked after backlash to the community to be more of a war team. In this update, we got the Black Cat event, so the second legendary event that's not tied to the Horsemen as well. We got more battle passes. The auto raid launch was launched. Jarvis, which I think is a great addition, especially for newer or mid-game players, or just not players that are highly engaged. Players that play this casual, I think Jarvis is a great addition. The war replay button was disabled. It's since been enabled, and a lot of that was due to alliances not want to see other people see their attacks. Well, you still are able to see your own attacks. This got voted back, and then fan voting was when we first saw this in update 7.3. Fan voting, the winner for the first vote was Symbiote Silver Surfer. The winner for the second vote was Panda Pool. So those characters should be coming sometime in 2024. The Black Cat trials did go live in update 7.3. They went live on August 29th. So before that, we got some clarification for some of the scoring, the way it was done. There was some discrepancies in the minimums for scoring for a lot of these events throughout the year. They tried to button that down during this event. This was actually a very, very good Scourge event. The second Scourge, non-Horseman Scourge that we got. And this was a good one. And not like the Nova Trials, when this returns, very, very easy to get a high score on this. And this one was actually done right. Can't remember any significant bugs with this, but I'm sure there were some bugs in this. Update 7.4 arrived on September 19th, and this brought the new Pegasus team, the new tech team for the Incursion 2 raids. This is the final piece of the Incursion that we were missing. The Pegasus team made it very, very easy. We also got the final piece of the new Avengers in Tigra, and then we got the final piece of, or maybe not the final piece, but the latest piece of the Undying team in Zombie Juggernaut. We got some reworks to Kesha, which we're still feeling the effects of today, and we're still going to be feeling the effects of for a while because her stats very important for that mythic section of the new Dark Dimension 7 that is coming up sometime in 2024 as well. Also, we got the Nexus Hearts chapters 3 and 4, which you can still farm a bunch of other characters there as well. We also got Sword Satellite, the new tower mode. We've seen different versions of this on the test server. The way it was finally released, I think it was very, very good. And it gave a lot of good rewards as far as diamonds. I do hope they return this with the same rewards. I don't think they will, though. But hopefully they will extend the rewards in Cosmic Crucible to not just diamond tier and above, but more other tiers to get those diamond rewards, because this is mainly what is tied to bookmarking your items. This is a major quality of life change that I'm still feeling very good about. This is a major win. And I think one of the biggest wins that we got also came in this update. Drag and drop squad select. For so long, we've had to place our characters in a very weird order, but we finally got drag and drop added to this, so you can place them however you want and just drag them how you want. This is a major change, and all of that came in update 7.4. A lot of good stuff in this update. We finally got the introduction of diamonds, and there was a lot of changes We did get flown out to Los Angeles to look at this, some of the envoys, and in its initial form, there was a lot of issues with it, and they made it a lot better. I do want them to increase accessibility, like I said, not just for Diamond Tier and above in Cosmic Crucible, but for more players. But yeah, this was good. We also got these incursion campaigns with the introduction of diamonds. We also got more characters being farmable. I think that was a major win from the introduction of diamonds, because a lot of times we'd have to wait for these characters to become farmable for a long time. Characters like Icarus, Emma Frost, for a long time, we never knew what they were gonna do. But now with the introduction of diamonds and this blog post, pretty major blog post, we've gotten a commitment that characters are gonna be farmable within the first 6 months, and at least they're gonna be viable for a year, or at least they have their intended value for a year, and that's a major win. These diamonds still playing catch up for a lot of people. I know a lot of people don't have access to this, and hopefully they will give more players access to this in 2024. But they did have to go back and change these stats, because this wasn't what they wanted. They wanted the stat boost to be a little bit more. And I think what the major effect of them changing these stats were it made sense to just get a lot of diamonds on your characters. Well, since they did a stat boost, I think it makes sense to go put 2 or 3 diamonds on certain characters like Kang or Kestrel, just some really, really good characters, getting as many diamonds as possible on them. And all of that came with this big update. A lot of good that came from this. Update 7.5 arrived a day before Halloween, October 30th. This is when we got the Sinister and Superior 6, the new Superior 6 characters, the rework to the old Sinister 6 characters. This is when we got the third of our non-horseman legendaries in the game in Green Goblin Classic. We also got the introduction of Craven, Lizard, Spider Slayer. A lot of good came from this. We got the Incursion 2 raids that arrived during that update as well. The Green Goblin Trials also arrived, and it was a very fun event compared to some of these other legendaries. Especially the Nova Trials is a very fun one. We also got more chapters added to Nexus. 5 and 6 were added as well. They fixed some bugs, but the major thing was that Green Goblin Trials. Now, these arrived on the 16th of November, where you could unlock that character. Very good in Cosmic Crucible, and sneakily very good in Arena Defense as well. And the last update of the year arrived a few weeks ago in update 7.6. This is when we got the new mutant team for the Incursion 2 raids. Bifrost still works very good. Pegasus still works very good. But Death Seed, they've fallen off a lot with these new raids, and Extreme X-Men is there to replace them. We also know that we're getting a new Hive Mind team for the bio section of the raids. They are not in the game yet, and with these new over-the-air updates, looks like they're gonna just be dropping them in every so often. This update will also bring Escape the Kiln, although I think that is gonna arrive sometime in 2024. But this is pretty much the year in review. A lot of good things, a lot of bad things. And I think that turning point came right around June, when the Player's Voice sent that 45-page document to the devs, and the devs actually really started listening to the players, taking the feedback. The council is still making waves in Marvel Strike Force. The devs are listening a little bit more to the envoys than they've had in the past. And I think the game is a lot better state than, not even since January, just since maybe May or June, since all that stuff went down, since Apocalypse was released, since the Donald Mack quit back in April. I think the game is in a much healthier place. But let me know your thoughts. Do you like the game better, worse? What do you want to see coming up in 2024? And what was your favorite part about 2023 and Marvel Strike Force? Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully this video did give you some value, some entertainment as well. And if it did, leave it a like. It is free for you, and it tremendously helps out the channel. And if you want to check out what are the best characters to farm right now in Marvel Strike Force, check out the video up there, and have a great rest of your holidays. Have a great rest of your day. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin out.